Blessings in abundance, y'all. What's up? How y'all doing? You know exactly who this is. Jason Miller, Roller Welling. Check that spelling, all right? So check it out. I'm paying homage on today. You know what I'm saying? You hear in the background my man Jay-Z, Beach Cheer. This is one of the most inspirational songs for me of this man. Now, I say this man because this man has literally surpassed his own dreams and are now going towards new dreams. So peep game real quick. Life is but a dream to me. I don't want to wake up. 30 odd years is about having my cake up. So I'm about my paper. 24/7, 365 or 366 in a leap year. I don't know why be here. Since we gotta be here. Life is but a beach cheer. Cheer, get it? Went from having Chevy clothes, crossing over every road. Now my angel singing to me. Karma hope I'm living right. Karma got me feeling like, kindly God, you praying for me. See, I got demons in my past and I got daughters in the way. If the prophecy's correct, then the child should have to pay for the sins of her father. So I barter my tomorrows against my yesterdays in hopes that she'll be okay. And when I'm no longer here to shade her face from the glare, I give up. I want to hold it right there, okay? So I wanted to get on that first. To start off by saying much respect, and I want to give some flowers to my man Hove, right? See, earlier in my rap career, you could ask my exes, you could ask all my homies, bro. On the way home, after my boy Mike, everybody you can ask. Everybody you can ask. When in my younger days, it's the rock, Hove. Everybody I know. We leaving, Hove. Everybody I know. We chilling, we playing ball. At the end of playing ball, we leaving. It's the rock. Everybody at the same time. Hove. We throwing love and we giving love. My ex-wife know that to a T as well. And I say that to say this. You know, a couple weeks ago, I started my series, and I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying. And one of the things we talked about, or I've been talking about, is time for black men to step up. You know what I'm saying? And really take it to that next level, because right now we in new times. So what I want to actually feature on today is actually Heart to Heart. Now, Heart to Heart is Kevin Hart, another black man that's doing his thing all over the damn place right now. I remember this man was doing stand-up comedy back in the day, and I thought at first, I'm like, I actually went to see him when he was before Soul Plane, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I saw Soul Plane when Soul Plane first came out. I'm like, okay, this man might do some things, and before you know it, he's taking over the whole game right now. Like, you can't turn on Netflix without seeing a show with him or certain TV. It's like he's everywhere. You turn on the TV and he's talking to somebody about Chase Value Card or something else, right? So big up to Kevin Hart, and I want to big up to Jay-Z as well, because really what I wanted to take the time to do, ladies and gentlemen, today is to really share a little bit about their heart-to-heart conversation. Now, about 2 days ago, Kevin Hart and Jay-Z got a chance to sit down. And when they sat down, they had a heart-to-heart conversation. Now, what I want to do is I want to play a little bit of that interview for you, because I want you to understand, for black men to overcome certain things, you don't have to know it all. You have to have the grind to go for it. You get what I'm saying? It's not going to always be visible for you. We as black people, first we got to go get it. We got that in us. It's innate in us, whether it's one thing or the next. Because, for example, you ain't got to convince a weed head to go buy weed. They gonna go get weed. You ain't got to tell a crackhead don't have to go get to figure out. No, a crackhead's gonna find the money to buy the crack that they need every night. So weed head can have no money at all when they wake up and still get that weed at the end of the day. That's the difference is. So what are you doing about your dreams? What are you doing about your goal? Something I always say, and I tell everybody, I do not fuck off with my time. So I find when people devalue my time by fucking off with my time, I go from 0 to 100 real quick. They go right on my shit list. If you're a person that I invested into you and you fuck off with my time with me, like, there's no coming back from that. That's just kind of how it is. Because when I give my time, time is our only currency. And that's actually something that Jay-Z said in this interview as well, which is something that I live by. You know what I'm saying? Time is our only currency. Once the time is passed, you can't get it back. And the next thing I had to learn the hard way is that yeses are a lot more expensive than nos. Because when you say yes to something and you commit your time to it, that time, you can't put that time to something else. You can't give that time to your family. You can't give that time to your children. You can't give that time to your dreams because you've committed that time to do this thing with this person for this specific reason or in this time and season. And that's how I had to realize that, yo, I need to be more protected about my time and be more cautious about who I say yes to, why I'm saying yes, and the purposes behind it. Of course, this take is brought to you by God's Gift Luxury, and of course, it's brought to you by jrlmiller.com. And you know what I'm saying? What I want to do is I'm just going to jump right into it.
It helps me a lot.
I'm just going to jump right into it.
I call it the room with the door behind it.
Yeah.
On his fights. Like, people would come in there to see him lose because he was so confident in his ability, and not from a place of arrogance, because he knew he put the work in, one, and two, he lifted us all up. So, I hope that at the end of this journey, or however it ends out, like, I represent that to, as well, like a piece of that. Yeah.
I've seen you make that change, though. I've seen you make that change in growth and in person, just in conversation, information that you've started to put out, right?
Yeah.
Like, it made a shift from money, I'm getting it, what you're not getting, the life that I'm living, to what we as people need to open our eyes to, what we need to understand, what the opportunities are, where the real wealth lives and lies. Like, there's been a significant just change in person.
Even that, if you look back to Reasonable Down, listen, like, even the songs that were like more braggadocious and out there about money were really more so directed at, like,
politics as usual.
Like, you put us in these situations,
feeling it,
and you handcuffed us, and you put it behind our back, and we still made a way. You guys took the music, took the drums, we beat on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like,
got to figure out a way to do it.
You made, like, blackface, we created soul music. You gave us scrap, we made soulful. Like, everything that was presented to us, we made a way. We made a way. So even in those songs, it's like almost like a like a peacock, like spreading his wings. Like, we made it. Like, so the transition has happened. Because with more information that you get, you evolve and you grow. But even when my first album came out in 26, so politics as usual, and those songs really dealt with it. Regrets on the last song on my first album, those are real topics. The evils, just talking about, the relationship and how money can come between friends. We haven't had money for a long time, so we don't know we're not professionals at navigating how to communicate from that space.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you'll have people that where you come from, if you behave in a certain manner, it's not a custom of where they are, right? Some people haven't evolved past 16. They still stuck in that place. But you evolving every year. So that may be a threat to them. Subconsciously or consciously, make Cat back and funny because
it's funny, right? You hear what he just said? He said, it's important for us to evolve as people, because some people still haven't evolved past 16. And if you're a person that continues to evolve, just your evolution might be threatened to a person that hasn't evolved past that one stage. You got to understand, life is going to provide people or bring people in your space like that. Sometimes it's a relative, sometimes it's a stranger, other times it's a neighbor. You get what I'm saying? But you got to identify your nest. You got to identify your position of strength. You got to identify what your purpose and what your gifts and skills are, to then cultivate them to grow beyond where you are. That's how the evolution process happens. You see, if you don't take the time to identify your skill set, you don't take the time to identify your gifts, you don't take the time to really put the work into making yourself better at them, or mastering those skills or mastering those gifts, you won't get shit out of it. And that's really what life is. People think that, okay, I'm just gonna sit down and think about it all day and visualize it, and it's just gonna manifest itself. No, you gotta put the work in. Visualization is the beginning. Manifestation happens when you get committed to the work. If you're not committed to the work, you ain't gonna get shit out of life. No matter how much you might be in a positive space, you might be, positive energy, but if you want to go get it, you want to evolve, you want to raise your level of expectation, you're trying to raise your standards, raise your quality of life, standards of living. Those are things you got to do a complete evaluation, self-evaluation, and of course, self-evolution. Because that's the only way you're going to maximize your skills and your talent to become that higher form of self. Now, there's no way we can become that and give that or really expand beyond that if we are not true to ourselves. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today. Because, a lot of people out there, they're not true to themselves. In this era of going for the bag, a lot of people are not true to themselves. A lot of people are selling out, bleaching out, and a lot of people are fucking off and fucking over other people just for the bag, just to look like the bag, just to be a part of the bag. And like Jay-Z said in the OJs, fuck being rich and dying broke, living rich and dying broke. And that's the concept of going for the bag. The bag is the concept of living looking like you're rich. Really. See, I don't have my ace of spade yet. My ace of spade is right here, God's gift luxury. So when you see godsgiftluxury.com, it's just like ace of spade. It's not where you see it right now, but trust me, in about another 5 or 10 years, it took Jay-Z 15, trust me, you're going to see this on every screen. That's why I'm not worried about it right now. I'm not worried about my Heartbeat Productions. My Heartbeat Productions is right here, grlmiller.com. I'll be launching satellites all across the world, and we're using hemp to do it, and we're going to develop prototypes, and we're going to develop and launch UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, and launch space satellite programs as well. As a black man, to be able to provide that kind of resources to other black people and empower them. It might be in the infancy stages right now. There might be another 5-10 years down the line before it gets to the recognition or the place that it needs to be. But when you hear me talk about it right now, I talk about it like I'm already there. Why? Because not only have I visualized it, not only have I committed myself to the work, but I'm also actively, passionately doing the work for and working towards that manifestation. See, that's how you get from concept to execution. That's how you get from thought to concept to prototype, and prototype to execution. Right now I went from thought to concept. Now I'm going from concept to prototype. After I go from prototype, I'm going from prototype to manifestation, full evolution, product manufacturing and development. But you got to understand, it starts somewhere. So I already went from the thought and brought it from a thought to the concept. Did all the legal and all the medical, all the physical, and all the research data that needed to be done scientifically, theoretically, on a hemp, science, space, time transition for jrlmiller.com to understand exactly how we want to apply the tools, the resources, and the technologies we need to apply to make that dream come alive. But again, something Jay-Z also says is the relationships with the people that you have along the way that makes a difference. Because Steve Harvey said something to me the other day. He said, people who want you to win, they will help you to win, right? And that's important for you to remember. So when you have people in your life that are there who want you to win, they will help you along the way to make sure that you win, right? And in this interview, that's something that was kind of prevalent, or it really stood out to me. Why it stood out so much is because both Jay-Z and Kevin Hart admits to those groups of people, those family members, those friends, that circle of people who not only wanted them to win, but they actually committed to, because not everybody's going to warrant your time. And not everybody's going to be given or has something to offer you as it relates to value for your time. And I'm not saying that they have to pay you. I'm talking about some people are energy vampires and they're just sucking your energy dry. Some people are in just a negative space and their mindset is just so fucked up. They come around you and they fuck up your whole day. You spend a couple hours with them and you feel worse about your life than you did before. Certain people, you get with them and just talking to them for a half an hour, you're just in a negative space where you start thinking suicidal, or you just start thinking you hate the world. Some people are like that. That's just how they are. but you got to identify your power and strength. And like I said, I want to get back to this.
You have to
so you
that. You
understand that.
You got to go home for Thanksgiving and people are talking to you like Kevin Hart. And you going home for solace. You want family.
You're going home for peace of mind.
You're going home for peace of mind.
And they don't give you that
your cousins, you're not. Your cousins in your grandma's living room saying, "Yo, man, I got this play. I wanna. If you just give me, you know what I mean, 4,800, I could make you 2 million." You like, it don't work like that, man. You got to explain to him like, life isn't like that. Money isn't free, and no one's giving out opportunities. If it sounds too good to be true, it's really. And then he like, "Oh, you don't believe in my dreams."
Where did that come from? Like, at what point did you make the switch of understanding? Because there's a level of conscious that you have.
Yeah, I think in the beginning it's about you and your circle.
Okay.
Right? You take your circle, you got the people that grind with you every day and share your dreams and slept on the floor with you, and you know, and then you make it out. And then you look and he's like, okay, what else? Right? What else? Like, how else can I be of service?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as you move further and further away from, you achieve these goals that you thought were, you know, unattainable in the beginning, and you achieve them, and then you look around and you say, okay, how can we duplicate this? The reason we created Rock Nation was to be able to say, okay, this is all the information we gathered. Here it is, Rihanna. Here it is, Kanye. You know, whomever, right? Like, and just like here's the information. So if we achieve those goals at 36, you do it at 26.
Jeez.
You know, and if we make, you know, if we created a $1 billion company, you create a $7 billion.
We're giving you the infrastructure that we know works, but we're embedding it into you at a young age so that it works earlier for you and that you can succeed and surpass what we've done.
Yeah, because they're building off, you know, had you had someone at 26 or earlier to say, you know, here's Kev Hart Productions thing, here's how you do it. You don't need the back end, you want to create the content, you want to own the content, you want to take it here, etc., etc. If you had someone just to give you that roadmap, that roadmap has been given to people since the beginning of time. We just was never privy to it.
Yeah.
We never had access to that sort of information.
I call it the room with the door behind it. You never get to that door. We always got through the first door. And we were so excited about being in that room that we never looked at the next door, right? I'm gonna stop right here. We're back. This is still Hart to.
Like I said, the opportunities that come to you are going to be based on the work ethic and the mindset and the grind that you put into it. You see, I had already achieved the millions and millions of followers on LinkedIn. I was not the bots. You know, everybody right now, they got bots. So most of these people you see with all these thousands and thousands of followers, these are all bots. You go to my LinkedIn 10 years ago, they weren't bots 10 years ago. It was all people. I had 16 million people, 18 million people, 26 million people all live on my LinkedIn back then. And that's in 2010, 2011, 2012. I was broadcasting. So I already hit those peaks. I never put the album out that I should have put out, but I did other music and other things in the streets, and that's what kept me relevant, doing other promotion and doing my marketing. But my radio program and the broadcasting, I already took it to those levels and peaks. I went through a divorce. After going through that separation in time, I had to redefine who I am and what I want out of life. I started an organic farm project, started an app to deliver food, coincidentally through the pandemic. So while this pandemic started, I started a farming project that was delivering food to people who needed food throughout the pandemic. And after that, it was like, okay, what's next? So in using the cannabis research that I've been doing for 15 years now of my life, I put that together in God's Gift Luxury. So when you go to God's Gift Luxury, you can see the 15 years worth of research that I've done. You can see the cannabis infrastructure as it relates to hemp concrete, hemp buildings, hemp farming, and the entire infrastructure. So again, somebody else can see and read that information and apply to their lives right now. So just like Jay-Z just said a while ago, it's about being able to say, hey, here's a blueprint, look at it, take it, and you could run with it and do more. That's what I'm doing with God's Gift Luxury. I didn't have to make 30 pairs of shoes. I could have just stopped at my research. I didn't have to write music behind it. I could have just stopped at the shoes. I didn't have to make the clothing line behind it. But guess what? I have the shoes, I have the clothing line, I have the music, and I have the educational research all available on one platform. And in addition to that, I give you free information as it relates to products that you can be developed, And also I provide information as well as it relates to infrastructure that can be used right now to make buildings, factories, and also farming. And that's on the God's gift side of things. But again, like Kevin Hart said, here is the infrastructure that works. Here it is to you. I was able to do it at 36. Now you could do it at 26. You could take this infrastructure that I've already established. I'm giving the information for free. All the designs and everything is there that you could look at. You could go through the process and see how to duplicate. So here the infrastructure is. You're going to support it. You're going to read it, learn from it, or you're not. I don't know, but this is it. This is as it relates to all the weed head. I'm only talking to the weed people out there and the smokers right now. Because for people who smoke weed and people involved in the weed industry, whether you're a dope boy, you just buy, you're a server, you're just a consumer, you got to understand this plant, hemp, is something that's been around for thousands of years. It goes back to the Egyptian gods. It goes back to the Chinese, ancient Chinese scrolls. So King Solomon, this wheat plant was found in King Solomon's tomb. He actually had a satchel on him of his favorite herbs and seeds. Yeah, King Solomon. So when he died, on his grave, the weed satchel that he had in him, those weed actually grew and actually tore off the top of his tomb. It might sound crazy, but weed was found in King Solomon's grave. Absolutely. And he was the wisest man of his day. One of the reasons why he was so wise is not because he had 30-something or 300 wives, because that's what made him stupid, trying to chase the bag or trying to chase the pussy. There's enough of that in the world. I'm talking about legacy. And behind his legacy, that plant was one of the biggest things for it. And I give credit to that plant as well, because that plant is not in the Chinese, the ancient Egyptian, and all the other cultural historically, from medicine to meditation to healing to body wellness, for nothing. Now, it might be information people don't want you to know in the modern civilization and society, but it doesn't mean that that information has not already been researched, studied. So when I'm able to get the information together and put it together by hemp concrete, hemp farming, hemp infrastructure industries that can be done, is because I've already done the time and research so that you don't have to. You don't have to go to do all of the research. I've already done that. I've already designed the shoes, went through the process of showing you, yes, you could take an inspiration from sitting down and smoking a fucking joint and turn it into a shoes on your feet and inspire people with that. That's the difference. That's going from thought to concept, concept to prototype, and prototype to manifestation. So you see the shoebox right here because I've already done it. So again, the formula for success is there. So when I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, go on to godsgiftluxury.com, check it out, read the information, learn what's available for you to learn. And again, support the business. That's because I want you, ladies and gentlemen, who smoke, who know people who smoke, who's involved in the weed industry, to actually take the time to understand more about the plant that you're stigmatized for. Because there's people in your family that might not like the fact that you smoke weed. People in your family might not like the fact that you smell weed, sell weed. People in your family that might not like the fact that, they smell the weed on you. Whatever. But again, if you are associated, affiliated, or in any way, shape, or form participate with cannabis, marijuana, or the industry, there should be no reason, way, rhyme, or purpose for you not to actually take a look, educate yourself, and actually see what's available for you so you can do something different, bigger, and better for your legacy. And that's what the fuck I'm talking about. On the other side, I have God's Gift Luxury. I have jrlmiller.com. Now, on jrlmiller.com, that's the next level to this thing. That part of it is still in the thought, concept to prototype. Because again, there are levels to it. It starts as a seed. Every thought is a light beam. Every thoughts are things. So when people sit down and they think negative about you, it's actually a thing that they're doing. Thoughts are things. Everything you see, this table was a thought. This crystal ball was a thought. This chair somebody sat down and thought of. This ring somebody thought of. This pencil, this pen for this smartphone is something that somebody thought of. So So thoughts are things. So if you only sit down and you think negative fuck shit all day with your life, that's all the fuck you're gonna get out of your life is negative fuck shit. Because thoughts are things. So when I challenge black people especially to raise your vibration, is to get off that negative fuck shit and start to apply your life to positive things so you can get some positive results. It ain't about, oh, rainbows and sunshine. No, it's about what can I do different, better, and greater with my life individually. Because we all make up the collective body. And that's the reason why I come to you again with this show. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying, and I'm saying, yo, read, learn, understand. So nobody can fool you when you know the blueprint. You see, when Jay-Z got the blueprint for Rock Nation, like he said, you handcuffed us, but you still did it. You know how many niggas been locked up for weed? Think about how many black men that's in jail right now that's doing time for weed. And think about how many Caucasian people right now are in positions of power in the weed industry, getting paid from weed that they're selling. But black people been locked up for it for all these years. So again, for me, ladies and gentlemen, as a black man, it's not about race. It's about intellectual integrity as a people. We've been through this too much for us not to be on top of the innovation. Like they say, necessity is the mother of invention. So you got to be based on the necessities, based on the need, based on the innovation that we bring to the game. Come on now. It's time for us to do what we need to do in order to change. That's just the facts of the situation. Now, I'm also going to get to Kevin Hart because his part is brilliant and it's absolutely beautiful. And again, this is the other side of Heart to Heart. And I just want, again, I'm going to keep it going. And again, shout out to Kevin Hart, Heartbeat Productions. Shout out to Jay, Rock Nation, Blessings and Abundance, Jay-Z, on Blue Ivy, the twins. Got a beautiful wife. You're holding down the family. Went from being in the streets. I remember when you came to Jamaica and you handled that thing back in the early 90s. I'm not going to say nothing else. But you see these gray hairs in my head? I ain't gonna say nothing else. I love the fact that your hair is nice and black, my G. And you see all my shit right now, it's all grayed up. But that's a whole nother process. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. We gonna keep this thing moving on Heartbeat, all right? So check this thing out, y'all.
All right, and I'm still talking to Jay-Z. There's a moment in time where we realize that our likeliness is more valuable than our actual income, right? Our likeliness, the attachment to.
Are you saying your likeness?
Well, or your likeness. What I'm
likeness?
saying. Is it likeness? Mm-hmm. Did I fuck it up?
No,
I may have fucked it up. Is it likeliness or likeness?
I don't know which one. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what you're saying.
If I'm attaching myself to a brand, I'm giving my likeness.
Likeness, yes.
Okay,
likeness.
Yes. All right. 1-0. So what in that space though, there's a moment where you realize the value of that, right? And I'm like, damn, man, if I know what I know now, I was just talking about at an earlier age, the attachment to companies, the attachment to investment opportunities, the attachment to the things that are starting from the ground up that are eventually going to be here that you can be a part of, and exits, the world of, there's information and strategy within VC that you now are a part of. That switch got clicked on as well, right? When did that switch get clicked on? Because it seemed like everything started to line up and the business success was surpassing. It was surpassing the starting.
No, but what it was like it was all the accumulation of all the work that was put in early on just came bear fruit. Like Ace, this is 15 years. Do say it's 10 years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
These things we've been planting seeds for, and it just so happened that they all happen at the same time. I think from the beginning, because we came from a street and a mentality, it allowed us to think differently about the business. And on top of that, we couldn't get a record deal. It wasn't as if we came with this brilliant idea. We just used necessity is the mother of invention. Yeah, necessity is the mother of invention. Right? So we were forced to either give up on the dream or to create our own lane.
Mm-hmm.
And because we had this entrepreneur's mentality, so we had started from 96, and then the informations, then you just get closer and you're like, oh, there's other things. And then being curious, you gotta stay forever curious. You can't just you know, a lot of time, you know, we settle, we get happy with the position, and we think we made it, when we just, like you said, there's another door, there's another thing, there's another door to open, and to open not just for yourself, for the next generation, you know, of entertainers, of, you know, great creative minds. And we have a responsibility. That's the responsibility that we have. It's not a burden. It's actually a privilege that we have the responsibility to, you know, usher in this whole new generation, because we, again, it's still all new to us. Rap is 40 years old. No, it's gonna be 50 years old. That's still pretty young, you know. And you building on that. You building on Red Fox and his entrepreneurship. And
I want you to understand that. So Jay-Z right now is about 50 years old, and like he said, rap music altogether is about 50 years old. So the music industry for rap or hip hop music that made this hustler who started from the corner selling products like I have right here, he knows the same people that went to jail for the same product right here, cannabis, God's gift is all about. He knows these people. He came from that culture, that background. It's having the intellectual understanding. It's having to think outside of the box, that hustler's mindset that allowed him to take the art former's music, the curiosity of what's happening around you, and applying it to the understanding to hustle and make himself a billionaire out of it. And like he talked about just now, the brands you associated to. So like Kevin Hart mentioned, you know, how your likeness is bigger than your pockets in certain cases, because your likeness gets more attention because of how big the thing becomes. But again, it starts off as a seed. So like Jay-Z said, you got to have that hustler's mindset. You got to take what's inside of you. You can't be complacent. You can't be comfortable. You can't sit down and say, okay, I got this and that's it. Because the minute you do that, that's it. That's when you start to die. That's when you become irrelevant. That's when all you do is sit down and you hate on motherfuckers for no fucking reason, and you waste your fucking life. So stop it. Let's get on with this thing. Like I'm saying in jrlmiller.com right here, this ain't nothing that I was doing my work here as it relates to taking this plant right here all the way to the fucking moon. And what do I mean by that? I wasn't talking about, oh yeah, I'm going to be a star in the cannabis industry. No. Meaning, I understand that with this plant, we ourselves have the capability to design technologies, batteries, energy, fuel, and also superconductors and supercapacitors and intellectual property, then prototypes and devices that are indestructible, that can literally take us to the moon. But they would rather us be stupid and only want to lick it and roll it, smoke it and get high and not do anything else with our lives. So again, that's why I'm challenging you, ladies and gentlemen. You see, both godsgiftluxury.com and jrlmiller.com are both cannabis-based businesses, because I understood that's where my calling was. I wasn't trying to be the biggest dope dealer on the block, because if you see the amount of research that I put inside of this, yeah, we done went through a couple thousand kilos on that motherfucking project, but we were not there slanging it. We was researching it and what we could do with it. You understand what I'm saying? Same thing on the other side here at jrlmiller.com. You could go online like right now and read through technological information that we have already set up to go into space, y'all, to launch an entire space station, a black-owned space station, a black-owned aerospace company that's designed, formulated, and based on hemp. And again, for me, Genesis chapter 1, verse 29. Let me bring this right here for you so you can see it in real time. Again, this is the shoebox right here, y'all. All right. So again, this is the God's Gift Jason Miller period, designed by Jason Miller, all right? And it's a limited edition. But I want you to understand, whether it's God's gift for the cannabis that you're smoking, or where this is right now, God's gift is based on the Bible. Genesis chapter 1, 29. God said, behold, I give you every seed-bearing plant food in this earth, and it's good for you. It shall be your food, it shall be your meat. So when this box here, I don't have the shoes in here, I take medicine with me every day of the week, because then I took that same thing and I developed dog treats. So now I can develop dog treats for my dog because I'm an animal lover and I love animals. You see these dreads? These dreads take a while to deal with, so I guess what? I developed shampoo and conditioner, hemp-based. Yeah, you see the CBD on it? CBD, yeah, hemp-based, CBD, a part of cannabis, yeah. So I developed medicines with this thing, shampoo. You heard of Charlotte's Web, people suffering with cancers, epilepsy, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's, diabetes, schizophrenia. I got the treatment. So I took the time to design to develop medicine. So when I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, the formulation is there, I need you to take the time to read and educate yourselves, because I know it's beyond me. I need you guys, the next generation, to come on to take it further than me. Because what I could do at 36, you could do at 26. That's the point. Pain gel, sports massage, sports gel. You know, as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to reach out to Rock Nation Sports Agency about just this specifically. Treatment for mental health, treatment for diabetes. Literally, the research is there, ladies and gentlemen. CBD, this one capsule of CBD right here, completely eradicates coronavirus from the human body. Yes, CBD. So just taking one capsule of CBD, pure organic CBD every day, completely eradicates the coronavirus from your human body. And again, that's clinical studies and research that's already been done. So for you who want to build something, you who want to come into the industry and make something of it, you who have a different mindset on how you can then take this thing to the next level, again, it's all done for you. That's the point. It's about paying it forward. Listen, I'm not going to get into all of these products right here that's available. I just want you to understand that when I say, listen, I've taken the time to research and develop medicines, I want you to understand that I'm not playing. I'm not bullshitting. The work has already been done. The research has already been done. The research is there for you to see it. So you don't have to say, well, I don't believe Jason. Go read it. You could download the PDFs and go fact check everything that's in it. That's the value of being able to have that. So again, when I share this with individuals and on both sides, because on JRLMiller.com right now, you could go in and download our actual prototype and see what the sketches of the prototype look like. You can actually download the formulation that we actually have. It's granted it's already copyright, but you can actually download the formulation to see the formulation that we have for the supercapacitors. You might not understand how to put it together just yet, but guess what? You have the blueprints. It's available to you. So you yourself can take it and run with it. So if I'm taking the cannabis plant from smoking weed to get high, to making medicine to save lives, to making shoes that's dope as fuck for both male and female designs, and then turning around and taking that same cannabis plant designed to get you high, and I'm taking that plant and I'm making superconductors, I'm making supercapacitors, I'm designing prototypes, I'm to be able to establish an interstellar species from the very same technologies coming from the very same plant that we've been discriminated against for. Listen, there's no reason us as black people, we ain't supposed to be jumping on this right now. There's no reason. So again, I just want to hit a little bit of this because I don't want to take too much time with this. But again, this is Hove and this is Hart. So I got to give them their time. So I let them say what they got to say, because this is where it all starts from.
Comes as you see.
As you see it, as you see it. Yeah. But you're the crazy thing about what you just said. You're educating your generation through this.
Let me do this.
This portal, this thing that people don't know exists. Like you said, it's what we're privy to. You know, when you talk about Rock Nation, talk about Bad Boy, that was the real live example of entrepreneurs and men that said we're going to take advantage of what you don't want us to have. So we're going to figure out how to have it and make it our own. What I'm most envy of now, it's like, well, fuck, you did that, but now you're the mainstream side of it matches the same energy of what was once the hustler side of it. Mm-hmm. So the conversation that was only over here, well, you got to put them two together, because smart is smart.
There you
My
go.
way of getting here.
There
is
you
just
go.
A longer road because you didn't let me take the shorter road.
That's right.
But I'll be damned if now I'm not here. Well, our energy don't match and our opportunities fucking match. And you know, when you attach the billionaire conversation to it,
See, I'm not even going to get into the billionaire conversation because I already received and I already spoke that. You know what I'm saying? This is a $10 billion establishment. And just like he said, the conversation needs to come together because you're dealing with intellectual brilliance. And the intellectual brilliance is there. It's not something you could question or debate. I mean, you could debate it all you want to, but when you go to the website and you read through the information and you actually see the education that's there, it's not debatable. And that's it. So again, for me, when I said, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you go on and kindly support me. It's not just for you to donate to me to give me money to pay my bills. No, I'm asking you to invest into the vision. If you can't take the time to read everything to understand it, help me bring it to life so you and your children can then be a part of it. Because that's how we change industries, guys. You see what Jay-Z did? Jay-Z was able to change rap, changed the entire industry, and became a billionaire out of it using. So they locked us up for weed this whole time. They didn't want us to have our own brands. They didn't want us to be in this. So just like Jay-Z got S. Carter's, the shoe line, I got the God's gift shoes. And I'm not saying to be like I'm like Jay-Z, but again, I'm talking to a person that I looked up to as a mentor. So from a business side decisions, I never knock the hustle. I always take the time to understand the reasoning behind the hustle so that I can then develop my intellectual muscles. So that's why there's so many facets to God's gift luxury, because I understand that one weed plant, there's a lot of facets to it. Just like there's about 1,000 different wheat strains out there. So there's 1,000 different wheat strains out there. That means there's over 1,000 different things that I alone can do with the plant if I put my mind to it. So that's all I did. So for godsgiftluxury.com, I just took my time to put my mind to it. And there it is. It's available for you, me, and for us all to participate from soup to nuts. So you can't say it's not possible for you to start an entire company based on weed and take it all the way to the motherfucking moon. Why? Because it's there. From the thought to the concept to the prototype to the development. Again, you see the products I got here, from shampoos to medicine. So I'm not just talking about, oh, I designed a pair of shoes because I got high and I was inspired. No, each shoes is designed to inspire you about a strain of cannabis. So each shoes has the name of a strain of cannabis that's medicinal, and it talks about the medicinal values of the cannabis plant. That's the beauty about it. People don't understand that because they haven't taken the time to learn. So again, instead of just sitting back and hating or sitting back and talk shit, but like he said in the beginning, you see, like he got his bravado from Ali because people wanted to see him fail. They got anxious, they got excited, they paid money to see him fail because he was so confident about himself. And that's a similar thing with me. I'm very confident in myself, so I really don't give a who wants to see me fail. I will work towards my goals diligently, dedicatedly, actively every single day because I know what's here will already manifested itself. So after this is now manifested, you can go and get everything done. Now moving on to the next thing. Like Jason said, what's next? How else can I be of service? So we see Elon Musk just started his own satellite company. When I was young, I thought we needed a whole government to go into space. Now you have all of these private companies going into space, Amazon going into space, Elon Musk out of space. So if that's the case, why can't we, black people, come together and actually have our own space agencies? Why can't we unite using the same thing they locked us up for to change the entire industry? Because if hemp is fireproof, hemp can make indestructible products like cars. Don't ask me, bro. Check Henry Ford. You can Google Henry Ford indestructible car. Henry Ford actually made a hemp car made out of complete hemp, and a sledgehammer just bounced off of it. So again, if Henry Ford was pioneering this technology back in the day, where are we right now? So all I'm doing is seeing the glimpses of, okay, this is possible, that is possible. So okay, if Henry Ford could make a car that's virtually indestructible, what says that material can't be formed or reformatted to a satellite spaceship to take us to space? It'll be a lot lighter than all of the other stuff that's being used. Because when you're talking about steel, metal, and all of this other stuff, it weighs a lot to lift all of that tons of steel into space. You're talking about hemp fiber coming together to be able to make a product. Yeah, you're thinking about something that will last a lot longer, but how are the molecules coming together? How is the formulation designed? And again, that's where the research has already been done. So again, when you go on jrlmiller.com, you could go on to our hemp satellite. You could actually see the mission objectives of what we want to accomplish. You can actually download some of the prototypes. You can actually download some of the research information so you can see it for yourself. I'm not talking about something that somebody else typed up that got copied and pasted. I'm talking about actual written information, word for word, handwritten out research data before it got transcribed. So you got the handwritten research data, handwritten broken down prototypes, handwritten formulations. So you yourself, ladies and gentlemen, can't say it's not possible. So when I hear about, okay, Putin's price hike, and I see what's going on right now in the nation, I understand. It is time for us to make a change. It is time for us to raise our level of vibration. It is time for us to take this thing to a whole nother level that we've never seen before. But I can only do so much myself. It's not stopping me. I just want you to understand what's possible for me is more than possible for you. What makes the difference is the mind, the heart, and the hustle. You see, if you have a mind to build and develop, you got a heart to give and produce, you will have that hustle to execute. And that's kind of where it's at. So like Jay-Z said, it's about having a team around you and keeping the right relationships and the right circle of people to then moving from where you are to where you need to be. That's why I said, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you on today, log on, go on, hell, just hit the Cash App right now and support me. If you don't want to learn, but you're a smoker, support the vision. If you believe your gas prices are too high right now and you believe you're tired of what's going on, learn something different and support it. But I'm not here to panhandle for you to give me something. Again, I'm here to show you, ladies and gentlemen, the information is there free. The resources are there free. They're both available. It's up for us to raise our level of energy and raise our level of vibration. You see, Kevin Hart is a comedian. He's not from the cannabis industry. Jay-Z started off as a dealer. He started off as a hustler, but he took it into rapping and then took that money from rapping and then flipped it and flipped it and flipped it, and here he is. So again, I got nothing but respect for Jay-Z and Hov and what he's doing. What I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is what's available or what's possible for me and you. See, I know it's possible for me, so I've done the work. I know it's possible for us, so I do the research. But again, if you don't take the time to learn for yourself so you can believe and see what's for yourself what's possible, only the corporations that have been taking advantage of us this entire time, like Jay-Z said, they lock us up because they don't want us to do it. See, it might take me a longer road to get here, but this path of success is undeniable because it's still got here. And that's why that conversation, like Kevin Hart said, we need to have that conversation. That work and that intellectual property need to start matching up. We need to get to the point where we start looking at things for what it actually is and not act like it's not there. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time. You know exactly who this is. Jason Miller, Roy Llewellyn. Check that spelling. I'm not going to be here too long. I just wanted to say much love, much respect, much props, and much appreciation to my man Hov, Jay-Z. Blessings in abundance, God. You definitely a God on earth. As you know, self-manifestation is it, and you definitely manifested that higher self, my brother. So I appreciate your legacy, and I appreciate you walking this earth as a man that I've known, I've seen come from the streets and take it to a billionaire based on manifesting that higher self of frequency, of focusing on that higher frequency and vibration and manifestation of self. Because again, you've always challenged yourself, that curiosity. And I love and I appreciate that. Same thing for Kevin Hart. You've always continued to evolve and push yourself. So as black men on today, as much as I talk shit about black people not doing enough, black people not having enough, I understand that we still have opportunities. And to you black men who started from nothing and have believed in yourself, dedicated yourself to not just the vision, but also the manifestation, God bless, God's best. And as always, for all y'all, I wish you nothing but Godspeed, good health, prosperity, and much more success and prosperity and blessings for you guys and the family, both the families. So again, that's my time, y'all. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying. I just wanted to stop here and kind of talk a little bit about the heart-to-heart conversation. So again, I'm going to put the link to the heart-to-heart conversation in this. And again, you see I took my dreads out because, of course, you know, Jade, he don't keep his dreads out. He just had them on in the video. So I'm like, you know, copycat type of shit. But, you know, I just keep my shit, like, tight. But I'm not even going to compare dreads right now because I can't. I've been growing this for a minute. But again, for what it is, I want to give the love and respect and appreciation. And I say, ladies and gentlemen, again, I challenge you to support the movement. I challenge you. I really do. I challenge you to go on there, see what's available, read through the information and not be inspired to do something yourself. And if you're not inspired to do anything for yourself after going there, reading and seeing the information, then all I'm asking you is to donate so we can keep the thing moving forward. Because like Tupac said, I might not be the person to change the world, but I guarantee you, I will spark the brain of the next one that will change the world. So that's my time, y'all. God bless. God's the best. And as always, y'all, you know what it is. It's The Rock.
The thrill of victory comes with the agony of defeat. This life ain't for everybody. You don't know what
Yo,
it costs
J.
me,
Cole, what up?
but no pressure.
DJ Pain
No pressure. I was made for this life. No diamonds. Made for this life. No diamonds. No pressure. No diamonds.
No pain is pressure, pressure plus pipes. Feel the diamonds, my pressure is mine. As a man thinketh, so he is in time. As a man thinketh, he is divine. As a man thinks, illuminates the mind. Sight to the eyes, heart of the blind. Wealth and riches where I reside. Dream will produce the hits on the time. Align the rich, got the hooks on the ride. Loving the pulse of the music we ride. Jason got the millions and bills on the side. J. Cole featuring on the grind, no side face. I started like a cold, watch how I shine. Nigga, I've been diamond the whole time. Started from a cold, no pressure, no shine. Dream build, greatest of all time, nigga.
The thrill of victory comes with the agony of defeat.
Yeah.
This life ain't for everybody. You don't know what it costs me, but no pressure.
No pressure.
I was made for this life.
Yo,
No
J. Cole, what up?
diamonds. Made for this
DJ
life.
Pain 1.
No diamonds. No pressure. No diamonds.
The love be fake, the hate be reals. The hoes be fake, the bows be scaled. The blood is thick, the family rich. The water murky, nigga, let's go fish. I'm an eagle, nah, I don't swim. Know your role, nigga, stick, be still. Second Amendment, peace is still. Violate my peace, but you gon' fail. I walk on water, I speak to the wind. The universe manifests everything. Ultra light beaming in from the dark. Illuminate the crevices of your heart. Breastplate, the rod of my chest. Word of God, the stick on my hip. Spear, not the rod. Quote in work that sticks to ass, nigga. What you think, nigga?
The thrill of victory comes with the agony of defeat. This life ain't for everybody. You don't know what it costs me, but no pressure. No pressure. I was made for this life. No diamonds. Made for this life. No diamonds. No pressure. No diamonds.
Blood of God over all my steps. Blood of God over all my kids. Blood of God over all my sins. Only God knows all the blood I'm spilled. Blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh. Only God knows all the pain I felt. Only God knows I'm in God mode until God come tell me do something else. Blood of God over all my steps. Blood of God over all my kids. Blood sins. Only God knows all the blood I done spilled. Blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh. Only God knows all the pain I felt. Only God knows harm and God more until God come tell me do something.